and welcome back to another live. Here we're doing the aftermath of my recent booking, which was last night at Stompin. And if you don't know what these streams are, this is just basically where I come live and just talk about how the gig went, and just sort of give you a little update on how I got on at the booking. For people who maybe didn't go to the booking, or people who didn't see me there, because they didn't attend, etc. And it's just something that I like to do. Come live and sort of talk about the event, document it, sort of diary it down, as to sort of how it went. So Stomping last night was obviously in its usual place. If you don't know by now, Stomping, it's a local event in Hull, and I've talked about it endless times on the channel because I've played for a fair few events now, and I've even been to a fair few events where I wasn't playing. In total, I've been to every single Stomping apart from the very first one, which I missed because I was at a birthday party instead. But yeah, we talk about it quite a lot. It's a local event in Hull, and it's just basically been growing, getting bigger. The lineups have been getting bigger and stronger. And the most recent one, which was yesterday, they got the legend down, which was Cocoma, hard trance legend, and they did a full 90-minute production set, which was just absolutely amazing to see. And it was really good as well. And it was actually a little bit different for me as well. And I know a lot of like hard trance fans are going to be a little bit like, oh no, but how did you not know? But I did not really know who Kakuma was. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd heard of the name, but it's not an artist that I really grew up listening to. So when I actually realised he was going to be doing his set like on the keyboard and everything, and he was physically going to sort of like produce sort of like some hard trance live, and do like a big mix of it all. I was actually quite buzzed, because I do like my pianos, and I do love messing around with keyboards and things. So I was quite buzzed there, the fact that I was going to be able to see that. However, on the night, I was just so busy, sort of walking around and sort of going between both rooms and talking to people, that I did catch a fair amount of his set, but I wouldn't say I just stood there and watched the whole thing. Which is earlier on in the day when I realised he was going to be all on his keyboards and stuff. In all fairness, I thought I probably will stand there and watch the whole entire set. But no, I got so busy walking around and talking to people, and just enjoying the vibe itself. Both rooms were playing some banging music. So I went on first, as I normally do. I normally open up the room too, and I've got to say it's enjoyable, but it's a little bit boring at the same time because you don't have that many people there to watch your set. And a lot of people, because of the way the club's set out, when you come in through the doors, there's like a staircase straight in front of you, and that goes up to the upstairs room, which is actually, believe it or not, the main room. So the main room is actually upstairs. So a lot of people will just come through the door. They'll walk upstairs. So me sort of downstairs, sort of in a lot of sense, gets in some sense gets sort of like missed out, because a lot of people, like I say, they just prefer to sort of go upstairs. So it's a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes you'll have a few people that will just sort of stay downstairs, or they'll see the bar downstairs, so they'll come and at least get a drink downstairs, or the toilets are downstairs, so they have to sort of physically walk past me playing, to sort of like you know, to sort of go and to the loo. So it's a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes I can have a little bit of a dead start to my set, and then sometimes sort of mid to late way through a few people will actually then sort of like come and sort of have a boogie and come into the room. Or sometimes I'll just have like a pretty much like a dead set for the whole entire sort of time that I'm on. Um, and so sometimes that is just the case, and it can get a little bit boring, sort of like just playing to yourself. Um, and especially when you feel like, because the thing with me is I do, when I get a lot of bookings, I do sit there and I do go through and plan a set, and sometimes I do in some sense feel like I plan a set that is kind of like good enough for like a different time, or even maybe like a like a different venue, or a different room. And sometimes when you've spent so much time, like preparing and putting a set together, you've got it just right. You've got it full of bangers. You've got tunes that that where they go off on the drops, and then you sort of play it to like up in an empty room. It kind of can be a little bit gutting. But sometimes it's just how it is, and I'm one of these people. I'm not a moaner of set times, because I am just happy to play at the end of the day. But sometimes I think that can go against you as well. Like if you are sort of like just too happy to play, and people will use it to their advantage of thinking maybe they've got like a permanent person for the first set, or that you've got someone who if you want to swap set times, that they'll just ask you, because they know you're not going to be bothered about it. So sometimes being a little bit too sort of like, yeah, I don't mind what time I play, can sometimes be a little bit of a bad thing. But then if you've got someone that obviously moans all the time, and their set's not right, and they want to play a certain time, and they're not happy, and they won't rest until they play it, that can also be a little bit of a pain. And I'm one of these people where I am easy to really to what time I play. Like I am just genuinely, I'm a happy person to play. I'm happy that I've got the booking, and I'm just happy that I'm out there in the nightclub, and I'm just happy in general that I'm behind the decks, sort of like spinning the tunes that I love. So yeah, so the set went down really well. I enjoyed the set. All the sort of like mixed points and everything just came in like really well, and I was just proper having the time of my life behind the decks, and dropping some proper naughty tunes, for sure, which was good. So obviously after my set, I just started floating around, and obviously more people started arriving. Some of the out of towners, which I've got to say, it was really nice, sort of seeing loads of out of towners that I normally see at, say, like the Doncaster Warehouse, or I normally see at like some other sort of like localish raves that have actually come to Stompin. So for example, there was a DJ Lowy who came last night. He was on the lineup, and he plays in the Warehouse quite a lot. So I normally see him when I go to the Warehouse. And then he also came to Scarborough to a bounce night, which was, again, as I seen him there. So it was nice to see him come in, sort of, like local to where I live, because I'm only probably like 10-20 minutes away. um I'd say about 20 minutes away from the venue itself. So it was nice seeing these people that you sort of see at the out of town raves, sort of like coming to your hometown. Rob IYFL Storm, who I normally see sort of at Leicester area. Obviously to see them coming up to Hull again, was a really nice sort of like thing as well. An enjoyable sort of vibe, seeing these people that you're meeting from other towns, sort of like coming to your town. Like I've come to your town, now you come to mine. So yeah, it was nice to have a good chat and a catch up to some people. It was nice to meet some new people as well. There was some people there that I didn't even know was going to be there. So there was some people that I recognized that I thought, well, I didn't know you was going to be here. You know, and it was just nice to catch up and see people. Um, which was a good thing. A little bit just after my set upstairs, I ended up grabbing my set downstairs. Sorry, I ended up grabbing the mic upstairs and just having a like a little blast for. I don't know. It might have been maybe for all of 10 minutes or something. There was a guy. There was a guy on the mic essentially with CJ, and he didn't want this other guy essentially to be on the other mic, and CJ knows me himself, so he was like, you come on the mic and sort of like get him off. So I was a little, well, I don't really know if I'm allowed to go on the mic. I mean, they normally do let me at Stomping, but it's normally the first set that's an open mic. So I was a little bit, you know, and I, you know, even though they sort of say like you can go on the mic, I do still sort of like to, in some sense, wait at the events until they say like, you know, like yeah, go up, have a go. You know, kind of like that extra confirmation, because I'd hate to sort of intrude in like a Pacific, like, you know, like a Pacific Clan set, you know, something like that. Um, you know, because that's just not my thing. But anyway, that guy came off the mic, so I left it, and then he sort of came back to have another go on the mic. But he asked me, he said, "Look, you come in and you know we'll all do like a freeway, sort of like B2B." I came in, I grabbed the mic, and then he just sort of did one again. And then I went on for about 10 minutes, and then essentially I just went off again. Which was you know, which was quite good to see. And then a little bit later on in the second room, there was a little change to the sets, because someone pulled out from downstairs, and some people that was coming out of town, Rob IYF and Al Storm, they had Recor coming with them. So we just basically said bring your USB stick and you can play. So he ended up blasting out a UK hardcore set downstairs, and there was a guy on the mic for him, and I didn't even know there was going to be a mic downstairs. And then essentially the guy who was emceeing for him, just a little bit into his set, ended up actually losing his voice or something, or like having to like come off the mic for some reason. So I end up going on the mic for him. So I go on the mic, we're blasting out this UK hardcore, and I'm getting quite into it. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't MC'd to a proper good UK hardcore set like that for ages. And then this guy without a top on comes up, you know, mic blagger, and I get told instantly, don't let this guy go on the mic. Don't let this guy ever go on the mic. And this guy comes up like, "Oh, Noble mate, you know, give us a go on the mic. You know, let us have a go on the mic." And I'm like, "Sorry, mate, you know, I'm not allowed to let you on the mic." And he started sort of woofing and whining a little bit, and then he started begging, you know, the usual like, "Oh, please, just give us a go. Listen, look, I've got some fire bars." And then he tried spitting into my ear. And then I'm like, look, pal, you know, you might have some good bars, but you know, I was physically told not to let, you know, you on the mic. And then another guy asked him, look, are you on the flyer? And then he tried lying and saying, yeah, I'm on the flyer. And then I was still trying to tell him no, and then in the end he started getting like wound up and aggravated, like he was getting angry, and he started sort of shouting at me, and you know, sort of starting to have a go at me, and then he tried snatching the mic out of my hand. And then one of the people sort of helping to run the event come over and said, all right, just let him have, you know, just let him have you know, fat, just let him have a few minutes on the mic. So I said, all right, give him the mic, you know, let him do his thing. He gave me the mic back, and then about 2-3 minutes later, he comes back over again. He's trying to get a go on the mic again. He's trying to, you know, he's trying to just, you know, to take over again. And I'm like, no. And then this other guy's like, you know, someone else was like, you know, did you let him have a go before? And then I was like, yeah, I let him have a go before. And then they're like, oh, well, then you've had a go. And he was just, you know, getting more wound up because I wouldn't let him have a go. And then anyway, we finished off Rico's set, and he moved on from there. But because I was quite sort of like fair, like sort of like tough with the guy, and like telling him no. Rico himself, actually, he was quite pleased and respected that I didn't just pass him the mic and let him babble all over it. I think he only emceed for like maybe like just over a minute or something, at the most, and then obviously, the mic was taken back off him, so he was quite pleased. But yeah, but all in all, it was a good night. It was another gig down. Like I say, I really enjoyed my DJ set. I played like Andy Whitby, sort of awesome records, sort of era hard house. That belting hard house, that Andy Whitby used to do when he had his own label. Which I was a little bit gutted that he don't run that label anymore. I know he does sort of like Bound 7 and stuff, and don't get me wrong, I love Bound 7, but I've been going back in time and listening to that sort of listening to that sort of awesome records era, and it's actually been quite good to go back and listen to it and kind of oh yeah, like I remember some of them tunes, and I'm just absolutely buzzed that I got that I get the chance to go out and play tunes like that. That I have loved for years. So it was really belting, and like I say, a lot of the night and a lot of the stompings have changed for me drastically, how I am at the events, like because I've been going sort of out of town a little bit more and going all over, and I've got more confidence with my socialising, whereas before it was sort of like stick to the people and just sort of listen to the sets. Whereas now, it's a little bit like I'm going around and I'm talking to different people, and I'm recognizing and I'm knowing different people from like other towns, and I think it even shocked someone from Hull yesterday, because like she even said at one point, like, why are you ignoring your mate? And I'm thinking, like, I'm not ignoring my mate, but I can see and talk to my mate like any time. Whereas, like, this is like I'm seeing people that I don't see all the time, and it's nice to catch up with them. And I think it was just a shock that I was knowing so many other different people, and because some of these people locally don't know these people that have come from out of town as such, and don't maybe know them to talk to, and then they just think it's mad, like, whoa, as if Noble knows them. Do you know what I mean? So it was definitely, a more of a socialising event for me. I like going and playing my set now, and then I like just being about and talking to people. I like being among people, and I just like having a damn good time. And that is obviously what it's all about, for me, just having an absolute belting time, with obviously what I'm doing, and like I say, it's nice to talk to people, and stuff like that. So next up for me, DJing wise, is an unannounced booking. It's actually the Hayworth Festival. That's first, and then obviously I've got something on the night, but obviously it's not been it's kind of been announced, but it kind of hasn't. So like something was announced before I got on board, and then basically I'm just waiting for the updated flyer. To tell you the truth, but it's that one that I said in the stream the other day, where you can go on Facebook and you can maybe hint or already find information out about it. But yeah, I'm just waiting for like the updated flyer, and then I'll start sharing away. I've started putting the set together because I know I'm like 100% down for doing it. So I put like a bit of a banging bounce set together for it, which is another clue. It is a bounce set. Looking forward to it though. But yeah, also before that, I do have a private DJ booking in a couple of weeks, which is I I didn't forget about it, but because it's private, there's nothing really much to talk about. Like, you know, I'll come on live and talk about it, but you know, it's just a birthday party, that you know, I do them on the side, just to earn a little bit of dough and wonga, I suppose. Um, you know, a little bit more dough and wonga, and it's just something a little bit different, and it kind of unexpectedly took off as well. I only sort of did it as a little bit of a one-off to bail a friend out who actually got booked for one himself and then couldn't make it. So I just ended up filling in, and then it kind of just turned out to do quite well as I started, you know, getting some recommendations online and you know, the usual. But yeah, one bad side to the stomping and last night, which was nothing to do with the event, nothing whatsoever to do with the event. It was actually myself, and for those, I don't think I mentioned it in any other streams. I might have done, but on Wednesday, I ate my tea on Wednesday evening, and I developed a really bad toothache. Really bad toothache, just in the just sort of it down the side here of my mouth, like quite a bad toothache. Now, probably about 3 4 months ago, I had this toothache in the same place, and it was quite painful. It was quite bad, to the point where I was gonna go to the dentist and ring up about it. And then it sort of it weared off, and you know, I never had any more of it. You know, sort of weared off, and you know, weeks have gone by, and I wasn't getting this toothache, so I just thought, you know, whatever it is, it's gone. You know, it's completely gone. Um, until last Wednesday when I ate my tea, and then shortly after eating my tea, I developed this quite painful toothache that sort of comes and goes. So it'll sort of come on like quite painful for maybe like a solid 10 minutes. Then it'll sort of wear off where it'll still be there, but it won't hurt as much, and it'll be like just sort of like a little bit painful in the background. And then sometimes it'll just completely wear off and go. And then if I have a drink or if I eat something, then it comes back again, and it starts throbbing quite bad. So Wednesday it sort of came, and then it sort of went for a little bit. You know, it wasn't really too good for me, and it was quite a warm night as well. So I struggled sort of getting the sleep. I got some sleep, and then I woke up on the Thursday, and it had practically worn off. So I just, you know, went on and sort of, you know, went on with my day. And it got to night time again, and it came on like quite bad again, like really bad. To you know, to the point where I actually, you know, make a note of mentioning this, and I start taking like pain relief, and you know, I start sort of like looking at online, sort of like how I can sort of ease the pain of toothache off, and you know, I'm getting advice off others and things like that. So I'm like sort of rinsing my mouth out in like salt water and stuff, and I'm, you know, I'm taking painkillers, and you know, I'm giving my mouth a good brush and stuff like that, trying all these different things. And then it sort of weared it off a bit, and then on Friday it was sort of here struck, not here, not too bad. And then Saturday on the day of the gig, it was actually quite bad again. To the point where at one point on Saturday afternoon it was actually so bad that I had to take more pain relief again. It actually come on quite bad. And then I went to my gig, and sort of all through my gig it was sort of you know, it was there in the background, and I couldn't sort of like not notice it, if that makes sense. Like I was trying my best to sort of have a good night, but you know, when it's like it's just a pain there in the background. Um, so I try having just a couple of drinks. I mean, I didn't really drink much because I don't drink much now. But I tried having a couple just to see if it would help take the pain away. Some people said, why don't you just get drunk and, you know, forget about the pain? And I'm like, because I don't physically want to get drunk. So I had a couple of beers at that, and I think I had a couple of Jaegers, and that was it. You know, I didn't even get drunk. Remember all the night, which is a bonus. I had a we called at McDonald's on the way in from Stompin, and I just got some chicken nuggets. We both got a 20 nugget share box, and I think I ate about 10 nuggets out of the box, and I had to give up. So by the time I'd got back in from Stomping, my mouth was just in an absolute. It was in agony. Like I could have like screamed out and cried at that point. Like it was just absolutely. There was just. It was just so bad. It was like it was awful. The pain was just unbearable at that point, and I was tired as well because it was quite it had been quite a late night obviously, but I could not eat these nuggets. It was just making it worse. I just there was just nothing I could do. I went and laid down, and and normally like if I come in from an event I can just get to sleep just like that because I'm quite tired. It's late at night. I'm ready for it. But even then, it took me a good sort of like 10-15 minutes, if not more, to actually get to sleep. And that is not like me after an event. And then I wake up this morning, and it was there, but it wasn't as bad as it was when I went to bed. I was really thirsty, so I got up and had a drink, and with that, it just set it off again. Absolute agony, and it's been sort of like on and off all day. So I took a couple of paracetamols, sort of like mid morning. To be honest, it didn't do anything. Which you're supposed to take like pain relief with them as well, the hydropyrophen. But I didn't have any of that at the time. So these two paracetamols really didn't have all. It was just and then it just come on and it come off, and then it just come on really bad again. And I just thought I can't physically keep going through this cycle. So I went to the shop and I got paracetamols to go with the hydropyrophen because it was actually my friend who had the paracetamols and not the hydropyrophen. But at home we had the other and not the paracetamols. So I got home and had got the paracetamols. It's actually worn off now. It's like it's not there at the moment. So at the moment I'm just quite grateful that the pain's not there. That it's kind of worn off. Because at first I didn't think it was gonna work. I was eating my tea, and I got like a massive sharp pain again, and I thought this is not good. Um, and then obviously it has actually now worn off. So I don't know to the point tomorrow it might be back again. It might have just worn off and come back. I don't think it will have like beaten like fight. I don't think it would have fighting it for good. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to. Sadly, which I hate doing. I hate going to like dentists and doctors and things like that. Like if I can avoid going to them, I can avoid going to them, and I don't like taking medicines and tablets and things like that. I just I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not a believer in them, but I do. I am a sort of like a big believer in if you if they like if they cured an illness, like they'd lose like profit. You know what I mean? So say like if they cured something, like what they so called sell at the pharmacy to help cure it, that there would kind of be like no reason to sell it like if they completely cured it. So I do it in some sense. I'm a big believer in that, but I do know that like taking things like a paracetamol and things can help. But I've never been like if I don't have to take one, like I don't like if I've been like mega on the drunk, and then I've had a massive hangover the next day. I never take paracetamol. I always just like either like spew it up or sleep it off. Or I usually just sit and chill and do nothing all day, and I can't eat till like tea time or something like that, or like late at night, before I start sort of feeling all right. If I've got a cold, I tend to just try and sort of like work through it. So I get up and go about my day. Go off to me appointments and things. If I've got a bit of a cold, and I never lay in bed and sort of let it defeat me, because I'm a big believer in getting up and carrying on. And the same like yesterday. The tooth pain was quite bad that I was considering, like, do I just pull out of the stomping, and do I just not go because the mouth pain is quite bad. But luckily the tablets I'd taken, they did ease it off a little bit, to the point where I thought, you know what, so some other people had pulled out, I can't pull out. I don't want to be that person. So I obviously carried on and did the gig, which was obviously what I chose to do. But there was times during yesterday, where I did think, is it all worth me doing the set? Like, because my mouth is in agony here. But there we go. So yeah, so that was Stompin. Really good event, like they always are. No clue as to whether I'm playing the next one yet. We don't even know when the next one is. We didn't even, see the flyer for the next one at this event. Whereas at the third birthday, there was the flyer for this event at the third birthday. So I don't know what the next one is. I don't know when the next date for it is. I would imagine it'll probably be somewhere like around sort of July, August time. But like I say, I wouldn't be able to tell you like if I'd play or not. It all depends, if I get asked to play. I've played sort of like the past four, the October, the Christmas one, the birthday, and this one. So there's every possibility. But all I can say is keep a lookout, keep an eye out. If I make any announcements, then I'm playing. So make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all the rest of it. Peace out, people.